What's up everybody, it's Tyler here from Wine Riot. This week on the Wine of the Weekend, we have Old World wines from the Burgundy region of France versus New World wines from California. We have a fun activity for you this week. It involves learning the difference between New World wines and Old World wines. And to complete this challenge, you're gonna have to open 4 bottles. Challenge accepted. So Old World is a wine term that gets tossed around a lot, and it essentially means anything from Europe. That means pretty much everything else is the New World. So in the Old World, they name wines after the regions the grapes were grown. So if you drink a Chianti, Chianti is a place. If you drink a Bordeaux, Bordeaux is a place. It's a city, you can go there. This week we're talking about wines from the Burgundy region of France. So in the New World, the wines are really named whatever people want. They name the wines after the dog, or they see a rock in the vineyard, they're like, we'll call this rock vineyard wine, or maybe they name it after the winemaker's ex-wife. It doesn't really matter. They can name it after anything they want. Whereas in Europe, or the Old World, there's very specific laws and rules over how you name the wines, what grapes you can grow, how far apart you can plant the grapes, whether you can irrigate or not, which you cannot. So there are very big differences in the way that the wines are produced and the way that people think about them. But ironically, they're the same grapes that are planted all over the world. So in the Burgundy region of France, legally they can only plant 2 grapes. If it's red wine, it's Pinot Noir. If it's white wine, it's Chardonnay. These are 2 of the most ubiquitous grapes in California. But when you taste the wine side by side, they're gonna taste wildly different. Why? Well, the place that they came from and the way that they were produced makes them taste very different, even though they're identical grapes. The red wines that come out of the Burgundy region of France are Pinot Noir. It's the same Pinot Noir you buy from California. However, they're very light and almost like delicate wines. So Burgundy is kind of a rainy, cold, damp place. Summers, it doesn't get terribly hot. The winters, they don't get terribly cold. It's a fairly temperate climate. So in California, you get these big, bold, juicy grapes because there's so much sun. You get really hot days and it plumps up the grapes. They have a lot of sugars in the grapes. You get a higher alcohol content, but you also get these like fruitier, bolder wines. So in California, even though you have identical grapes, like they literally took clippings from the Burgundy region of France and they brought them to California and planted them, but you get wildly different styles. Burgundy, it's lighter, it's more subtle. California, it's bolder and it's juicier. Just like the Pinot Noir, you're gonna notice a difference in flavor from the Chardonnay, but weather is only part of the factor. A lot of people think of Chardonnay as these big, bold, oaky, buttery wines, but that is not the case with the OG Chardonnay, which comes from the Burgundy region of France. In Burgundy, you get these lighter, crisper style wines, and they do use oak. They'll age the wines in oak, but they won't overdo it. It's more of like a subtle kiss of oak, and you typically tend not to taste the oak like you do in a lot of the California Chardonnays. Again, you have identical grapes. They took clippings from France and brought them to California, but they tend to age them in oak barrels in California and tend to make it this bolder, heavier style wine. So why is this important? So the wine grapes we currently grow all over the world all originally came from Europe. And so it's a really cool way to taste what is the original version, what did people initially intend to happen, and how did new winemakers in different parts of the world have a different twist on these old classics. It's kind of like watching the original Ocean's 11 movie with Frank Sinatra and the Rat Pack, and then watching the new version with Brad Pitt and George Clooney. It's a modern take on an old classic. So this weekend, go to the wine store and get a bottle of Pinot Noir from Burgundy, Pinot Noir from California, and if you want to double down, you can do the same thing with Chardonnay. Pop 4 bottles, have some friends over, and learn about the history of wine.